Capgemini, we have Ravi Shankar Saha, who is a functional architect and system integrator in the ERP domain. An alumnus of the Delhi School of Economics, he is an avid quizzer and has been into quizzing for the past 15 odd years. Some of his notable quizzing accomplishments are national finalist of the Tata Crucible Corporate Quiz for the last 5 consecutive years, including this year, national champion of the Hindu Business Line Celebration Quiz 2019, to mention a few. Apart from quizzing, he is also an ardent fan of the European football and World War history. Based out of Bangalore, the second team member from Capgemini is Mr. Sethu Madhavan, who works in the business and sales enablement space. A knowledge seeker who has been into the business quizzing for the past 15 years, he has won several accolades in quizzing. Some notable achievements include 4-time winner of the Tata Crucible Regional Rounds 2016 to 2019, regional champion of Hindu Business Line Quiz 2019, and a runner-up at Tata Crucible Kolkata 2014. He enjoys playing pool and badminton during his free time and is also an avid bike lover who loves to go on rides on the weekends. He enjoys listening to heavy metal and he's also an ardent movie buff. Our next team is Ernst & Young, and the first participant is Mr. Ayush Avasthi, who is a senior associate. He is an avid quizzer and has participated in a number of quizzes like Tata Crucible, NHRD and Business Leadership Quiz and many more. In his free time, he likes to travel, watch various TV shows, and this is his 5th appearance in the Rajagiri NBQ semi-finals. The second participant from EY is Mr. Tio Thomas, who is a chartered accountant. Apart from work, he is the president of a professional KSFA football team and plays as a goalkeeper. He has been quizzing since childhood, and this year's edition of the quiz should be his 6th or 7th attempt. Ayush and Tio Thomas intends to do their best to win Rajagiri NBQ this year. They claim to be a hungry young team who intends to upset the usual old winners of the quiz. And they claim to have nice hair. Our next team is the Steel Authority of India Limited. The first participant is Rahul Ranjan, who hails from the city of Odisha. He is currently working as a deputy manager in the Bokaro plant. A graduate in electrical engineering, he has a passion towards everything that involves analysis and problem solving. A curious guy from the beginning, he has converted his interest in collecting BIS trivias from a pastime to some serious quizzing in the last year and a half. His stress busters are dancing and watching Friends. And his wife thinks he doesn't stay at home, rather on Twitter or Quora. The next contestant from the Steel Authority of India is Mr. Shubham Verma, who works as a manager at the Bokaro plant. He hails from the holy city of Prayagraj, which is famous for the confluence of 3 holy rivers. During his free time, he enjoys watching movies and series. He's also a doom scroller who loves a bit of trivia about anything and everything under the sun. Our next team is from Freshworks. The first contestant, Mr. Varun Parthasarathi, is a marketer by profession. He has been quizzing for the last 15 years. He enjoys traveling, following a wide range of sports, and learning new languages. The second participant from Freshworks is Mr. Ramesh Natarajan, who is an avid quizzer and has been quizzing since his college days. He enjoys all sorts of quizzing with a particular interest in sports. When he finds the time, he also likes to ask questions and not just answer them. He has conducted many quizzes across Tamil Nadu for both corporates and colleges. He is currently working as a marketing manager with Freshworks. The final team for the corporate category is Bank of New York Mellon. Representing the team, we have Mr. Kapinchal Chowdhury, who hails from Assam. He took to quizzing very early in his life and is well known for organizing as well as winning several quizzes in his college days. He used to run a successful blog named Q Factor. He moved to Pune to start his corporate life, where after a brief pause of about 3 years, he restarted his quizzing. He has made podium finishes in many corporate business quizzes, including Tata Crucible, Rajagiri NBQ in 2012, and many more. The second participant from the team is Mr. Rakesh Pandey, who hails from Lucknow. After completing his graduation, he moved to Pune and currently works as a techie. He developed an interest in quizzing and started it as a career from 2018. He has also participated in several quizzes and has achieved some podium finishes in corporate quizzes like Tata Crucible. He aspires to be an entrepreneur someday.
You ready to start? Welcome to the second and really enthralling first corporate semi-final. Was like really amazing. Last question decided who will get in. We have 5 more accomplished teams on the corporate side. I think 2 or 3 of them have been very regular, literally been winning or have been runner-ups. So we have very quickly to introduce the teams. We have Nexus Consulting, represented by Venki and Rishi Verma. Please, give everybody a virtual hi. We have IIT Gandhinagar, represented by Shantanu and Dyotana. Again, please say hi to the audience. We have Steel Authority of India Limited, Rahul Ranjan Panda and Shubh. We have a team from Tata Consultancy Services, 2 very accomplished quizzers, Aniruddha and JK or Jaikantan. And we have Freshworks represented by Varun Parthasarthi and Ramesh Natarajan. Okay, excellent. We are streaming well, as has been the case with the remaining corporate semi-finals. The way we will work is 10 questions clockwise, 10 questions anti-clockwise, plus 20 on a normal pass, and plus 20 minus 10 if you pounce. We need all parts of the answer. If you pounce, the answer will come to me. All right. What I request all of you is to have your phone and your hand visible to me like this, so that it's easier. Right? Otherwise, it's very difficult, as you know, to identify what's going on. Thank you very much for your cooperation. Let's start. All the best for the second semi-finals of the corporate edition of the Rajagiri National Business Quiz. The top 2 teams make it to the national finals. We already have 6 finalists. Here's the first question coming up. In any question that have visuals, I typically a good idea for you to wait before you pounce. All right. Here's the first one coming your way. You should be able to say the question very soon. What I'm looking for is a colorful name. What you see is a colorful brand that's celebrating about 100 years this year. And it gets its name from the founder that you see and the place where he was born. So very similar to IKEA, if you remember, Ingvar Kamprad and the village where he was born. So very similar sort of thing here as well. So tell me, what colorful brand are we talking about? I'll give you 5 seconds if you want to pounce. You can WhatsApp me in the groups that we have formed. And all participants, you have to stop streaming if you had YouTube streaming on, because you may be watching it earlier. Would request all of you to stop your streaming because there's an echo. And as soon as there is someone streaming is when we get an echo. All right, closing the pounce. TCS is the only team that has pounced. Closing the pounce, so no one else can pounce. TCS, very quickly. Okay, got it. The question was for Nexus. So Nexus, please tell me what your answer is.
It's our turn, right?
Yes, your turn. Nexus.
We'll guess Braun.
BRAUN.
Yeah.
It's not Braun. Passing you. This is to IIT Gandhinagar now. And I'll go slow because the camera folks need to, pan back. IIT Gandhinagar, your guess. Dyotana and Shantanu. Any guesses?
So, I'll guess UC United Colors of Benetton.
Not Benetton. Nice guesses though, right? Very nice guesses. You're on the right track. So Rahul Ranjan Panda and Shubham Verma from SAIL, which is the next team to guess.
Shubham, anything or pass? No. Pass.
Asim, please mute yourself. TCS is already indicated via WhatsApp and bounced. Freshworks, your guess?
I'll say Blopunk.
Blopunk comes from that ideal dot, ideal blue dot. Right, that's not the right answer. They are celebrating 100 years. Right, but good guesses, all well-known guesses. TCS is the only team that bounced and got it absolutely right. The answer, TCS, do one of you want to take it? Aniruddha, I think you typed the answer, or JK, one of you.
This is Haribo, which makes the gummy bears.
Absolutely right. This is Haribo, which makes those colorful gummy bears. It comes from the founder Hans Riegel, who was born in Bonn, right? So it was Hans Riegel plus Bonn that gives you Haribon or Haribo, right? And they make those colorful gummy bears, if you all remember. Plus 20, great answer there. I don't know if JK is chewing one of those Haribo gummy bears, right? But plus 20, fantastic answer. Very good beginning as always by TCS. Here's the next one. See the question carefully and the visual carefully when you get in here.
Is it back to Nexus or to Team 2?
No, this goes to Team 2, IIT Gandhinagar, right? So what you see out there, there's a Stanford University graduate who is the #1 ranked golfer in the World Amateur Golf Ranking, right? That's the one with the white t-shirt. In the pic, he's seen with his more famous father, who typically caddies him and equally had aspirations to be a golfer as well. Tell me the name of the father or the son. Someone is streaming, so or watching a stream, or maybe you have your YouTube on by mistake. Please switch it off. Sale has bounced. Bounce closing in 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Bounce is closed. Sale, please, you got to type out the answer as well, not just say pounce. Hold on till Sale finishes typing their answer. Okay, I got their answer. Moving forward, the question is to IIT Gandhinagar.
For the father, I'll guess Steve Williams.
Not Steve Williams. Good guess. Right. Moving forward to Sale has already pounced to TCS. JK and Aniruddha from TCS. Won't give you much time on the pass.
Yeah, we'll guess this is Scott McNeely of Sun Microsystems.
Great answer there. It is indeed Scott McNeely of Sun Microsystems, right? And his son, Maverick McNeely. Right, Maverick McNeely happens to be the world's #1 amateur golf champion. Scott typically caddies him. In fact, Scott was on a NASCOM conference last week. That's how I got to know this info, right? And fantastic answer there by JK of TCS. Plus 20 there. It is indeed Scott McNeely. You can see him on the background there, right? Caddying his son, Maverick McNeely. Of course, Maverick McNeely also happens to be, his girlfriend also happens to be in the women's side, the #1 amateur golf ranker. So that's another thing. She's an actress as well, right? But that was not so, nice as a question, I thought. Scott McNeely was a better question and a great tribute to one of my favorite technology gurus, right? Great answer. Plus 20 scoring to TCS. TCS is off on a great start. Question to Freshworks now. Freshworks.
Pounds on the previous question.
Yeah, Pounce, Sale, good one, good catch. Sale gets a -10. They answered Tiger Woods, which is not the right answer. Right? I wouldn't make it that simple. Okay. Here's the next question coming direct to Freshworks, but open on the buzzer for everybody. Again, I think there's someone again and again fiddling with YouTube, right? It immediately catches an echo. I can tell you that. So just request that, please don't do it. And all of you were complaining about the echo, if you remember earlier, right? It was because somebody was streaming YouTube, while playing the game, right? And immediately catches the echo. All right. Here we go. Here's the next question. It's a visual. I'll give you the question after you see the visual. It's to Freshworks first, but open on the buzzer for everybody. Hold on. So you don't need to identify her. I'll tell you her name, right? Her name is Katerina Flake, right? Obviously, she's a Silicon Valley entrepreneur, founded a whole bunch of companies, way back, in the early 2000s, right? What trend in branding did Katerina Flake kick off and has been in vogue till date across technologies and brands? So she actually started a company, and she also kickstarted a naming convention, if I can call it that. And it is pretty much the vogue even till date. So if you know the company that Katerina Flake, came up with, you can very easily guess what is the naming convention. She founded a company that was bought by Yahoo. Big trend. Announced by TCS. Okay, I've got TCS's pounds, closing the pounds. Here's the question to Freshworks. Freshworks, you have a guess?
We'll say naming the company .ai as in using the .ai to indicate that they are an AI company.
Very nice guess. No, not really the era of AI in the early 2000s, right? That's a trend now, but nice guess. Moving forward, question to Nexus.
Okay, we don't know the company she founded, but we'll make a guess saying it's the portmanteau of founder names becomes the company name.
No, nice guess. Portmanteau has been there for a very long time, as you know, right? So she couldn't have been starting that trend. IIT Gandhinagar, I'll go a bit slow for the camera to pan. IIT Gandhinagar, any guesses from Dyotana and Shantanu?
So you need her company's name or the trend that she started?
I just want the trend. I don't need to know on the company's name.
Yeah.
But do that if you know her company's name, because you'll very easily guess.
Naming a company after your mother, not father.
Okay, naming after mothers, no, that has been again a convention for a long time. Steel Authority of India,
Pass.
passing. Next team, TCS has already bounced. Freshworks, it was your question. Again, TCS cracks this one. Wonderful answer there by JK and Aniruddha. As soon as you know what company she founded, now let me tell you the name of the company she founded, not for any guesses, but just for everybody, it's Flickr. Okay, so she founded the company Flickr, which was bought by Yahoo and later by Smugbank and so on, right? So the convention was removing vowels. So that's how Tumblr, all of these companies, they started removing the E, or the U and so on. So that's the naming convention that started, right? So Flickr started that convention, and Katrina Flake really, in fact, she wrote a very nice article, in the Financial Times last year, right, around this whole trend, right? Catch that wonderful article if you want to, read that. Okay, plus 20 there to TCS. Again, great guns. Looks like TCS is going to close it to the first 10 questions itself, but wonderful going there as always by JK and Aniruddha. Remember, you just need to be in the top 2 for the others. Next one should be an easy one, right? Let's see if you catch this. Here's the question. Open on, the question actually goes to Nexus, but open to everybody else. Here you go. You see a visual from a very famous series, and then you see a bunch of lines. This is what the character is saying in the lines. If you don't make it, then you're on my dash list. What's a dash list? Tom says it means you and I are dash. Hanging out and getting food together, dash. You want to come over to my house and play video games, dash. Hey Tom, you want to come play put with me? No, we are dash. So this is the origin of a very, very famous brand name. The question is to Nexus. Anyone pouncing? 5, 4, 3, 2. I saw Freshworks raising their hand, so I'm assuming they're pouncing. Got it. TCS and Freshworks have pounced. I'm closing the pounce in 3, 2, 1. Okay, Nexus, go for it. This, as you know, is a very famous scene from, Parks and Recreation, right? Very famous set of dialogues, right? Which company, very famous company, gets their name from this? Nexus.
We will say we'll say Tinder.
Not Tinder, right? Let's move forward. Two teams bounced. So IIT Gandhinagar, it's your turn.
So I guess Craig is in Craig's list.
Not Craig, very nice guess. Craig is a good guess, but that's not the right answer. Steel Authority of India.
We'll pass.
You're passing. The other two teams bounced, Freshworks and TCS, and both got it absolutely right. Plus 20 to both of them. Freshworks, Ramesh, I know you suddenly hit that wave. Tell us what the answer is.
It's Dunzo.
It is Dunzo. So if you read it now, it will make a lot of sense to you. It says, Tom says, if you don't make it, then you are on my Dunzo list. Ben says, what's a Dunzo list? It means you and I are Dunzo. hanging out and getting food together, dunzo. You want to come over to my house and play video games? Dunzo. Hey Tom, you want to come play put with me? No, we are dunzo. So that's how dunzo got its name. And that's how the app, if any of you followed the Twitter feed of dunzo in the last 1 month, including Sai, a good quizzer from Bangalore as well. He actually tweeted this out as well, right? I picked it up from that. So nice one there on Dunzo. Great answer. Plus 20 each to TCS and Freshworks. Good to see all questions that he's getting answered. Here's the next one. I think very, very gettable. The next question goes to IIT Gandhinagar. It's there direct. You will see a graph of a stock chart. I'll explain the graph. See it first. It'll come up. This stock went up by 12 times in 2 days. What happened and why? You can see that they spiked on a particular date in January, right? And it was 12x in 2 days. Sale is bounced. Bounce closes in 5 seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Nexus is bounced. Closing, only 2 bounces will be accepted. Okay, I got sales answer. I need Nexus's answer. Okay, got it. Let's move. It was IIT Gandhinagar's question. Go for it, IIT Gandhinagar. Should be an easy one.
If you're saying it should be easy one, then I'll say GameStop.
Not GameStop. That was one of the guesses. It isn't GameStop, right? Let's move to TCS.
Nitesh, we are guessing this is some random company called Signal. Basically, people started using Signal, and this company got picked up by the algorithms. And
brilliant answer. Absolutely right. This was Signal, right? And there was, in fact, another company called Signal on the NYSE, right? Which suddenly zoomed 70% on one day, then 200% on the next day, as soon as Elon Musk tweeted that use Signal, right? And everybody decided to buy the stock as well, right? As always. So this isn't GameStop. By the way, there are no GameStop questions in this quiz, right? Just so that you're clear, right? I've had all 3 quizzes have GameStop as an answer. It isn't, right? Great answer there. Plus 20 to TCS. Unfortunately, a minus 10 there to Sale that guessed GameStop as well, right? And plus 20 to Nexus, who opened their account, getting the right answer. This is a company called Signal, whose stock price hugely went up. All right? So 3 teams scoring. All right, here we go. Next question. Again, think of this carefully. I'll give you more clues as you move forward. Here's the question. This guy runs Cedille Records in Chicago. He has 6 Grammy-winning records and 18 Grammy nominations. Very accomplished. He has a more famous surname thanks to his mother. Who is his mother? Or you can tell me his surname. That's good enough. I'm asking the name of the mother for a particular reason. Right? The mother has nothing to do with business. This guy runs Cedille Records, also happens to be a very accomplished composer with several Grammy nominations. Anyone bouncing? I see IIT Gandhinagar.
The surname is enough.
Hold on. Please don't give any answer. Hold on. You bounced. Just stay. Right? Just stay there. Sale is bounced. I'm closing the bounce in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Sale, please give your answer on the WhatsApp. IIT Gandhinagar, you don't need to do anything. Once you bounce, you just answer on WhatsApp. I've already seen your answer. Thank you for that. Got it? Okay, got sales answer as well. Let's move. Question was direct to TCS. TCS, go for it.
this is because of his mother only, is it? Not a father.
No, that's up to you to guess.
Okay.
What I'm saying is his mother is more famous.
Oh, okay.
Can't give you more time.
All right, we'll say Warren Buffett. We don't have a guess.
No, not Warren Buffett. Moving forward. Freshworks.
No idea. I'll say Betancourt.
Not Bettencourt, it's already done. Nexus Consulting, I already had a Bettencourt question. Yes, Freshworks. Sorry, Nexus.
We'll say like an offshoot of the Bezos family. So Bezos.
Not Bezos, good guess. IIT Gandhinagar, you already pounced. SAIL pounced. Interestingly, both the teams that pounced got it absolutely right. Plus 20 to IIT Gandhinagar and plus 20 to SAIL. SAIL team, do you want to give the answer? Surname is more than enough.
It's actually Ginsberg.
It is Ginsberg. This is James Ginsberg, who's the son of Ruth Bader Ginsberg, right? And he runs Cedille Records. He's equally famous, but his mother is obviously more famous. And since she passed away last year, right? A tribute there. This is Cedille Records by James Ginsberg. Great answer there. Please go to mute, please. The other teams. Thank you. Plus 20 there to SAIL, plus 20 there to IIT Gandhinagar. Good going. Next question. The previous question was to TCS. So this question is to Freshworks. Here's the question. Read the question carefully, Freshworks and all the other teams, before you give. I'm looking for a reason, and I'm looking for a very specific reason. All right, here you go. In 2007, Barclays posed a challenge to a consortium of RBS, Banco Santander, and Fortis to merge with ABN AMRO. Barclays was okay to move its head office to Amsterdam as part of the then proposed $96 billion merger deal. Apart from moving its headquarters to Amsterdam, what other significant change did Barclays agree should the deal go through? What was the reason for such a change? I need both. So Barclays said, okay, we are okay with the merger, right? But tell us, as part of the merger, they were asked to do something. There is a visual, right? Tell me what they agreed to, but still, and what was the reason that they were asked to make this change? Very workoutable. Read the question carefully. Anyone bouncing? I'll give 5 seconds. Otherwise, Freshworks, please be ready with your answer. Okay, SAIL is bounced. SAIL, please type out your answer. Guys, keep yourself on mute. Guys, keep yourself on mute. Yeah. No one else bouncing? I'm closing it. All right, Freshworks.
So we'll guess that because they were asked to move to Amsterdam, they decided to change the trademark blue color to orange, which is the royal colors of the Netherlands.
Not the right answer, unfortunately, right? It's a -10 to SAIL as well, who also said color in logo, right? That's not the right answer. So that's why I'm giving it away. -10 there to SAIL, unfortunately, but good try, right? Let's move to the next team. The next team is Nexus.
Mitesh, we'll say this is to do with the apostrophe in the name Barclays. So likely they kind of agreed to remove that apostrophe or add the apostrophe, one of the two. Predominantly so that, in England, the way the name is understood with an apostrophe as being like a possessive kind of thing of one individual person and his venture versus how it would be understood in the rest of Europe. So they didn't want some confusion around people thinking that there is one individual behind the whole thing, something like that.
Okay, nice one. I'll try to figure if there is a question like that the next time, right? That's not the story on this one, right? Let's move to SAIL is already IIT Gandhinagar. Yours? Any guesses? Shantanu and Yotna?
So I guess that they were asked to include the coat of arms of Amsterdam, which is triple X's, 3 X's in the logo, to signify that they are moving to Amsterdam.
Oh, nice guess. Very nice guess, but not the right answer. How I wish many of these guesses were the right answers. They could all form very good questions too, right? Let's move to TCS.
We just guess that Barclays was then the sponsor of the English Premier League, and they chose that they would come out of the sponsorship of the English Premier League and probably give the sponsorship for the Dutch Premier League or the Dutch League as well.
Okay, and what was the reason for the change?
What was the reason for
Why
the
would
change?
they ask for that?
APL itself was they didn't have a sponsor. It was earlier called the Barclays English Premier League, and then they just did not have any sponsorship. They just went with English Premier League.
Okay,
So
no,
they removed the sponsorship.
not the right answer. Right, let's move to Freshworks.
It was our direct, Mitesh.
It was your direct. Okay, no one gets this one, right? Although there was a -10, I think, for sale. Comes back to me. This is a very interesting story, right? And that is why I specifically put up a visual. This is not one of those quizzes where you put a visual for the heck of it, right? The answer really is that what Barclays was asked to do, if you see the Barclays logo, it features the eagle, which has been part of the German coat of arms for at least 800 years. The logo was very similar to the Nazi imagery. So they were asked to drop the entire eagle logo itself, right, and just call themselves Barclays, right? Unfortunately, the merger itself did not happen. So none of that change really happened, and the logo continues to be what it is, right? So that's the question that came back to me. Tough one, but nice answers there. Unfortunately, no one got this one. Came back to me. Here's the 8th question. I'm looking for a very specific name on the next one. Please tell me what the name is. Here you go. So what you see in the visual is the German Chancellor Angela Merkel, right, who visited India in November 2019. And you can see PM Modi, gifting her this specific brand, right? Then you have a whole bunch of other people. Ramnath Goenka, was one of their most famous customers, has written several articles about this pen brand itself, right? They were India's first ebonite fountain pen, and so on and so forth. And Mahatma Gandhi really, loved this particular pen to write with. So, which one are we talking about? IIT Gandhinagar? Yes, I need a brand name. I need a very specific brand name. Sale is bounced. Please answer. I will give 5 more seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Bounce is closed. Freshworks, TCS, and Sale. All 3 have bounced. I've seen their answer. We just give like few seconds to IIT Gandhinagar, who seem to have lost their connection. I don't know, maybe they saw someone in the visual and wanted to. Back so we can continue. This was Nexus Consulting's direct.
Yeah.
Go for it, Nexus.
So this pen that Gandhi, I think, really liked in midfield. Remember, right? It's a brand called Ratnam pens.
It is Ratnam pens. Very well answered. It is Ratnam, right? It was called Ratnam pens. Very, very nicely answered. All teams that pounced got it right as well. Plus 20 to Nexus, plus 20 to TCS, plus 20 to Freshworks, and plus 20 to Sale. Very well answered, folks. Beautifully answered. It is Ratnam pens. Let's move to the next one. Next one is a very, very interesting one. You'll see a visual. And what you will see in the visual, the scores are updated now. There is an underlying physical process to make something. Whose business philosophy can be derived from this? How did that manifest to the world in 2008 after almost, 2,000 hours of research? So this is how you can simply go ahead and put someone's research, right? Or philosophy, your business philosophy. Tell me whose business philosophy is this? And tell me what manifested as a result of 2,000 hours of research and therefore this diagram. So this looks like something from, the world of geography. You see terms like sintering, grain, pore, all of that. See the way things are formed there. And work out the answer. assuming no one is bouncing. Okay. Because no one is bounced, I'll give one more clue just so that everybody can think in the right direction. Very, very famous personality, right? This process basically shows, the visual is basically about sintering, right? As you can see, before sintering, sintering, and after sintering. This results in the formation of something, right? That happened to be this person's biography as well. And that is why the name of this person's biography was named thus. Very, very famous name. It's not a name that, is obscure at all. You can consider this person a legend, not consider it. He is a legend. And I'm talking global business, not India. Global business. So whose philosophy in business? And tell me what was the outcome. So if you know what sintering is, you will get the second part of the answer. Okay, whose direct was this? No one is found. So Nexus. Nexus, do you have a guess? It's your direct.
Sorry, whose direct is it?
Nexus. Venki and Rishi. Yeah, the last direct was Freshworks, right? No?
No, I answered the last one. No?
Okay, so this is now IIT Gandhinagar who's having some problem with their connection. Once they come back, we'll get to them. We'll move to SAIL, Steel Authority of India.
No, we'll pass.
Let's go to TCS. Aniruddha and JK.
Anil, which one did you want to go?
I'll say Swarovski.
Not Swarovski. Nice try. Freshworks.
I'll say Nirav Modi.
Nirav Modi. Okay, very famous business philosophy. Okay. Nexus.
Yeah, one sec. We'll say whose business philosophy? I'll once again say, okay, I'll say Andy Jassy, and this is the whole AWS related philosophy.
Okay, nothing to do with Andy Jassy. No questions, no pot shots at AWS or anybody else, I guarantee you, in the entire quiz, right? So there's nothing to do with Andy Jassy, right? Huge respect for him. No one else getting this right. IIT Gandhinagar could not walk in.
Because nothing else I could think of.
Okay, the answer, let me give you the answer to the second part and generally ask if many of you get it for no points. The business biography was Snowball. This is how a snowball is formed. That's the process of sintering.
Warren Buffett's
business philosophy.
Yeah.
What Warren Buffett did was called the snowball philosophy. You started with something all small, it all coagulated, created one big thing, created momentum, and everything after that was just holding the momentum. Right? That, in very, very simple lines, is Warren Buffett's philosophy. If you see all his stocks that he's invested in, that's been the philosophy, and that's how the word snowball became his biography's name. Okay, no one getting anything on this one? Can everybody go on mute, please? All right. Final question of this round. This is to TCS.
Should we say?
No, IIT Gandhinagar is not there, so we had to skip them and move to SAIL, the last one.
I see. Okay.
Yeah. The next question, here you go. You see some visuals from
direct for us. Just a minute.
direct is to TCS. Okay, the last direct was to you. Yeah. You see 4 places here. I'm giving a cryptic clue saying this is Bangalore's first step. Give me a 4-letter prefix to the 4 cities. And Bangalore's first step is a good clue. If you've read the news and followed it, Bangalore's first step is a good clue. Just give me a 4-letter prefix. Anyone pouncing?
Sorry, Mitesh, what did you say was a good clue?
Bangalore. So something in the news over the last month or so, right? Bangalore's going in the right direction to join these 4. Okay? Nexus has pounced. Any other pounces? 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. I got Nexus's answer. No one else can pounce. Let's move. Whose question was it? This is to TCS. Yeah. Yes, JK and Anuruddha?
Do you want me to go ahead or you?
Sorry, someone speaking.
JK, do you want me to go ahead?
Let me just combine the thing and say it's one answer. Yeah, so we're guessing this is something to do with Hyperloop Boring Company. The boring company putting up an underground structure of
Okay.
saying.
So what's the 4-letter prefix? That's the answer I want.
Some kind of boring company Hyperloop, some BCHL, something like that.
So nothing to do with that, right? Let's move forward to Freshworks. We have the IIT Gandhinagar team also back. Please just switch on your videos. Freshworks.
We'll say, I'll just say IKEA.
Not IKEA. Okay, 4-letter word. At least you got to a 4-letter word. Nice try. Okay. Let's move to Nexus already buzzed. IIT Gandhinagar, do you want to take a guess? Basically 4 cities. Give us a prefix. Okay. Doesn't look like IIT Gandhinagar got this one. Let's move. Sail.
Musk.
Okay, Musk. Okay, not Musk. Okay, that's also Elon could have also fit. Right? No. All of you were on the right track. JK and TCS team, Sail, all the right track, but you didn't get the right prefix because Musk could be very well a connection. But the prefix I was looking for, because these are the 4 specific places, the prefix I was looking for is Giga. Right? These are the only Giga factories that Musk has. Right? And Bangalore just about started. They don't have a Giga factory. They're only going to have an assembly plant, eventually leading to a Giga factory. Right? So big answer, plus 20 there to Nexus. They cracked that one. I think they got it from the Bangalore track. Good one. Plus 20 to Nexus. No points to anybody else. So that concludes this part. Let's move. Let's look at the scores. TCS comfortably leading at 120. Nexus at 60. Freshworks at 40. IIT Gandhinagar at 20. And Sail at 10. All right. So let's pick up some pace in the second round. All of you are now very familiar with the format. So let's pick up some pace. We go anti-clockwise now. First question, going to Freshworks, and we then go to TCS, Sail, IIT Gandhinagar, and Nexus. Here you go. Tell me what this is an evolution of. Anyone pouncing? What is this an evolution of? All clues are actually in the visual. That's why I put that visual up. There's nothing closely to watch and stuff like that. It's like, okay. Tell me, what is this an evolution of? Anyone pouncing? Doesn't look like. Okay, we close the bounds. Freshworks, over to you.
We'll say the Google logo.
The Google logo, how's that?
No, I'm just figuring out. I think at the last I can see the O and then a magnification of that. So it must be the way in which they've structured the letters on the Google logo on the homepage of the search engine.
Absolutely right. Plus 20, very, very nicely worked out. Actually, the color schemes is what should have given it away.
Yeah.
It started with what was mostly the black logo using the Garamond typeface. Then it became the mark in the middle. So the original thing was just this mark, which the founders liked as it looked like a Chinese finger trap. So that was one of the big things between Larry Page and Sergey Brin. The next one was more about accuracy, like a target, which is why they put that whole microscopic, thing out there, right? And that's when they eventually, and this was about eventually then going in the 8th attempt is when it became the simple Google logo the way you see it, right? So these were the 3 evolutions of the Google logo, right? Have a bit of an advantage being at Google. Try to get this one. From our archives, there's a very nice video up there if you want to watch it with Ooze Holes, really talking about the cultural history of how Google evolved. Right? Watch it on YouTube. It's available. Small plug there, but it's really, really interesting to see the evolution of Google, its culture, its logo, its people, and so on and so forth. That's where I got this question from, right? Nice answer. Plus 20 Freshworks, very well worked out. Here's the next one to TCS. TCS, long question. There are 2 parts. I'll give you some time to read through it, right? It's a text question, so you can read it carefully. No issues. Here you go. I'll read it. X is Collins Dictionary Word of the Year for 2020. It encapsulates the shared experience of billions of people. Lexicographers registered more than 250,000 usages of X during 2020, up from just 4,000 in 2019. In manufacturing, the term refers to a continuous improvement initiative in which manufacturing in a specific area is paused in order to contain and determine what are the issues that are preventing the manufacture of goods from meeting quality specifications. Y was the Collins Dictionary Word of the Year in 2015. Y also registered increase in usage in 2020 due to X. Y was prevalent in anime fandom communities during the late 70s and 80s. Tell me X and Y. Both, both of these words obviously became very popular in 2020. It's not that these words were not known before, but they were super popular, thanks to obviously the pandemic and stuff like that. That's very obvious from the question, right? So tell me 2 words. Of course, if you get 1/2 right, that's fine too, but not on the pounce. Pounce, I need both. Okay, sale is pounced. Anyone else pouncing? Closing it in 3, 2, 1. Closed it. Okay, next is pounce just in time. Next is just raise your hands if you are doing that when I'm saying 3, 2, 1, right? It's easier for me to identify that. Okay, I got the answers. Just waiting for Nexus to type out. Got it. Okay, TCS, go for it. I've got Nexus and sale both in.
We'll say lockdown for one, and the second one, some kind of pandemic.
Lockdown, pandemic. I already said pandemic as part of news. Sorry. Let's move on. IIT Gandhinagar. Dyotana, maybe you can unmute and give an answer, or maybe Shantanu can give it. Dyotana, you have an answer? We'll just give them. Yes, go ahead, please.
Yeah, no, we are passing here.
Oh, you're passing. Okay. Let's move. We already got sale. The Nexus is already bounced. Freshworks, you're the only team left. Sale and Nexus are both bounced.
So we'll say lockdown and binge watch.
Absolutely right. This is lockdown and binge watch, right? Obviously, binge watching became more and more popular because of lockdown. Not that it wasn't popular before, but it kind of accelerated that. Plus 20 there to Freshworks, plus 20 to Nexus, plus 20 to Sale, and plus 10 to TCS. They got 1/2 of the answer right, which is lockdown and binge watch. We'll allow the scorers to refresh the score.
Nitesh, just one thing, Nitesh, couldn't see large part of the text, especially the one that's like at the bottom.
I read it out. That is why I read it out twice.
Okay. It's going to be like this only, right? I mean, in all the text
Yeah,
questions.
it's true for everybody.
The text is completely blocked because of the size of the font.
No problem.
All right.
I am reading out the question, and anyway, this is not the buzzer. Right? Okay, the scores are refreshed. Let's move. Freshworks answered this, so it's TCS's question because we are on reverse. Here you go. The next one is an interesting one, right? I need two names. This is the logo of the Porbandar Cricket Stadium. It was named after someone originally, as in, while it's the Porbandar Cricket Stadium, it was dedicated, like you say, Jawaharlal Nehru Cricket Stadium or whatever. And then it was renamed to be named after someone else as well. So tell me the two names. Anyone wants to pounce? Just to make it easy for everybody, right? One is a very well-known name related to sports, right? The other name is related to business, just so that it's clear. I'm not looking at two business names, just in case you guys are looking at business names, okay? Just for that very clearly. So I want two names. Originally, it was named after someone else, right? Which is a easier one in my mind. Who is it renamed after now?
Mitesh, to clarify, you said one from sports and one from business, right?
One from business. Both, by the way, happen to be related to sports only, right? Because they have business connections. That is why they renamed the cricket ground after the second person. Okay. So think of it like, Vijay Mallya and RCB, right? So there's a business connection and a sports connection. And I'm being very fair so that I allow everybody to, take a shot at pounce if you want. Okay, Sale is pounced. Go for it, Sale. Okay. I got the answer from Sale. No one else pouncing, I'm assuming. Let's close the pounce. Freshworks, your question? No?
We answered the earlier one, right? Binge watch. So
this is TCS. The first one is sports. The renaming is after business. Go for it, TCS.
One of the names, I think I can see the D. I'm just guessing that's Duleep Singh Ji.
Okay.
Duleep Singh Ji is one. I'm not able to guess who's the other one. I'll say Duleep Singh Ji is one.
Okay, who's the other? Any guess?
Mahatma Gandhi, the other one.
Mahatma Gandhi. No, not really. Let's move. The next team. Sale already pounced. IIT Gandhinagar. Passing you, IIT Gandhinagar. Let's move to Nexus.
Yeah, Duleep and to clarify, you said the business renaming is the more modern one, right? Is that correct?
Yeah, that's what I clarified.
Yeah, the owner of Gujarat Lions IPL team. I'll say some Bansal, if I remember it.
No. Freshworks.
Okay, we'll say. Okay, so I want to say Maharaja of Porbandar for the one on the left. That is the sports connection. And the other one, we'll say Digvijay Singh, the Digjam connection.
Oh, the Division connection. No, right? Sale actually pounced and got it absolutely right on both parts. Wonderful answer there, Sale. Why don't you give us the answer on the microphone?
Actually, the old name was named after Dalip Singh Ji, and the new name is after Jay Mehta, the KKR co-owner.
Absolutely right. This is Jay Mehta. It's renamed after him, and that's why it created a lot of controversy, right? And you must be wondering how, right? That's exactly why it created controversy, that you're renaming it after a businessman like that, right? But the interesting thing is there is a historical connection there. Jay Mehta's great grandfather was the one who actually built the Porbandar cricket ground and named it after Dalip Singh Ji, right? So that's the connection which is there. However, great answer, plus 20 to Sale and plus 10 to TCS for having got Dalip Singh Ji right first. Great answer in there. At least you got the first half right. And the question now to Sale, because TCS got 10 points there. Here's the next question. Here you go. I'll read out the question. Don't go by what is written there and so on and so forth. The last paragraph is what is important. It says to future dash, first woman dash. The last paragraph reads, together with dash dash, we will enable opportunities for more future firsts. The message ends with the words be first dash dash. They're all different blanks, just so that you're clear. Very famous tagline and a very famous ad campaign that came up in the last 12 months.
The dashes represent the number of letters.
Not necessarily. Okay, TCS is bounced. Go for it. Anyone else? I'm closing it in 3, 2, 1. Closed. TCS. Please type your answer and then we'll go to fail. Only after TCS finishes their typing. Okay, got it. TCS, done with bouncing. Go for it. Sale.
Kamala Harris, maybe, I don't know, to future.
Kamala Harris. What's the next blank?
There are two blanks, right? One Kamala, other is Harris, maybe.
Oh, okay. So there are that way 4 blanks, right? No, that's not the right answer. Let's move. In the interest of time, IIT Gandhinagar, do you have a guess?
No, I don't.
Okay, let's move. Nexus. Nexus, do you have a guess?
One sec, Nadesh. We're discussing. Just 1 sec.
Go for it, please.
Woman, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. Okay, we'll say Melania Trump be better anti-bullying campaign.
Nothing to do with Melania Trump be better. Freshworks.
I'll just say Sheryl Sandberg. Something to do with Lenin. Yeah.
And Lenin, no. All nice guesses, right? TCS got it absolutely right. So Aniruddha, JK, do you want to go ahead and give the answer?
This is Johnny Walker's brand, Jane Walker.
And the tagline being still keep walking.
Yeah. Good.
Great answer there. Very well done. Plus 20 there to TCS. They've sealed the quiz pretty much. Unless some major turnaround happens, it's almost like the final place in the finals being the only thing at stake. They are almost 2x the next team. But anyway, we've got 6 more questions. Remember here, and 5 more at the buzzer. So anything can happen for the top 2. The last question, if I remember right, was to Sale. So this question is to IIT Gandhinagar. IIT Gandhinagar, here's your question. Should be relatively simple. Think about it. Give me a connection between the 4 brands. So you see 4, you see Cadbury, you see Thai, you see Amazon. Give me a connection. TCS has bounced. Very simple, straightforward connection. Don't overthink this. And I'm looking for another brand connection. Please remember that. What connects all 3 is a brand name. Very, just so that everybody's clear. Got it. TCS has bounced. Anyone else bouncing? Freshworks, I saw you raise your hand. Got your answer in. Anyone else? Closing the pounds in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Closed it. IIT Gandhinagar.
I would guess Silk.
Absolutely right. Very well done. This is Silk, right? Simple one. I can see a lot of you really saying, oh, I should have got this one. Cadbury Silk. Obviously, you know about the Silk and Thai and Amazon Silk, which is an original browser from Amazon, right? So this is very well done. IIT Gandhinagar, 20 points to you. And on the pounds, TCS gets 20. Freshworks also gets 20. Great going there. Freshworks is just edged ahead of Nexus. Next question directly to Nexus. Let's see if the scores got refreshed. Yeah, now they did. All right, everybody doing well. This is a long question, so please hear me out. Just one sec, folks. Are you able to see the visual? Because it just went off from my screen.
Yes.
Hold on. Folks, I'll have to turn off my video once. R&D team, can you please quickly check whether there's some problem? All of you are able to see the visual?
Yes.
Okay. It's off from my screen, so I don't know which version. Okay, no problem. I've got it back. Thank you. I've got it back. Thank you very much. Right? The person you see in the visual is Andre Iguodala of the Golden State Warriors. This guy is one of the celebrity investors in a particular company. The company's founder allowed Andre to really invest because he's a diehard NBA fan ever since he moved to the US. First, he was a big fan of the Lakers, right? But after Kobe's death, right, he moved to California and he became a big fan of Golden State Warriors, right? He did not want to go, with a flashier star like Steph Curry or Kevin Durant and went with Andre Iguodala, right? Because he was more interested in going with someone steady, right? Very interestingly, he now is one of this guy, Andre, is a big co-owner of the company that was founded by this guy who's a diehard NBA fan. And suddenly, Andre Iguodala has become a billionaire just in the last 12 months. Which company is Andre Iguodala, therefore one of the biggest investors in? Originally, he was a very small investor, but his investment has come up with a huge amount of return, obviously thanks to the events of the last 1 year. Sale has bounced. Anyone else bouncing? IIT Gandhinagar has bounced.
It's Nexus Direct, right?
Yes, Nexus is direct. Anyone else bouncing? Okay, I'm closing it. Nexus, go for it. I've got IIT Gandhinagar and sales answers.
We'll say Andrei Iguodala was one of his investments was in Zoom. So I think Eric Yuan and Zoom. So
absolutely right. This is Eric Yuan and Zoom, right? And Eric Yuan is a big NBA fan. If you see him in most conferences and stuff like that, he'll always have an NBA T-shirt on and stuff like that, the NBA cap on and so on, right? This is him of Zoom. Obviously, anybody who's invested in him in his company in the last 1 or 2 years is like a multi-millionaire, right? Great answer there. Plus 20 to Nexus. On the pounds, plus 20 to Sale. Very well answered. Unfortunately, IIT Gandhinagar got it wrong. They said Tesla, it's minus 10, unfortunately. Right? Just to refresh scores. Okay, scores are refreshed. Great. 7th question. Here you go. What term was coined in 1977 by The Economist and came from this very nice picture that also became an Economist cover? And tell me, what does the term mean? If you know what is the term, you'll pretty much get the meaning of the term as well. So this is the Groningen natural gas field. This was a picture from 1959, right? This was a discovery of this large natural gas field, right? Interestingly, the Economist coined a term, right, to describe how a particular, sector in the Netherlands declined after the discovery of this particular gas field. So what 2-word term did the Economist coin? This became an Economist cover as well. It's a fairly commonly used term these days, but this is the origin of that term.
Nitesh, should that term fit in that blank? Is it as big?
One part of the term, yes. But pretty much what is written there, a dash, disaster in slow motion, right, is exactly in a way reflective of what the term does, as in the effects of that term. Which is why The Economist made it its cover page in 1977. Because the effects were a fill almost 18 to 20 years later. It's like, a slow death sort of thing. All right, no one pouncing, I'm assuming. Enough time was given there. Nexus, it's your direct.
It's our direct, I think.
Freshworks is direct.
Freshworks, sorry. Go for it, Freshworks.
I'll say climate and climate change.
Not climate and climate change. TCS.
Yeah. Like a black swan, there's a term called gray rhino, where there's a slow-moving thing, apocalyptic thing which is coming to you, but you're not able to dodge it.
Very nice. Gray rhino. That's not the right answer, though. Right. And there goes one of my finals questions. Right. Okay. Hard luck. I have to change that question now. Right. It would be unfair. Right. Has a similar origin, but not gray rhino. Right. Good one. Moving on. The next team, Sale.
Pass.
IIT Gandhinagar. Sorry, can you repeat that, Shantanu?
A zombie disaster.
Not zombie disaster. I see a very animated Rishi Varma and Nexus.
Okay, I'm actually trying to make up an answer. Since it's Netherlands, we're going to say Dutch. And since we want to say something alliterative and disaster is already there, we're going to say disease. So we'll say Dutch disease.
And what does the Dutch disease do?
I'm thinking something like basically because of it kind of kills an industry over a long period of time because you find a significant natural resource or something and some other industry starts developing. And so, the what used to be some predominant industry kind of dies out.
Great answer. Although you just stumbled on it, that's exactly what Dutch disease is. Right? Well done. Plus 20 to you. Right? Dutch disease is the right answer. Right? What Dutch disease works is when they got the Groningen, grass field, what happened was that everybody thought obviously there'll be a huge, uptake in all of this, but the manufacturing sector in the Netherlands completely went off, right? Because people started thinking that natural resources is the next big thing. And although Germany's Netherlands manufacturing sector and agriculture was doing very well, everybody ran towards this. And that is what the Dutch disease is, right? That people just go to whatever is the fashionably most important thing at that moment in time, right? And forget what will actually be this thing. And there's a slow death for, things that should not be the case, right? So that's the Dutch disease, right? Well answered. You, I think, fluked into that answer, but plus 20 there, irrespective. Plus 20 there to Nexus. All right. Here's the 8th question coming up. Work this one out. One of my favorite questions. Who was their first customer and probably the biggest till date? The biggest part is not that relevant, but who was their first customer? And there is a reason that visual is there. I mean, otherwise I could have just written it in text, right? Their name comes from their first customer and therefore they became their biggest customer as well. But see the visual carefully. Anyone pouncing? This one is Freshworks. You're direct because Nexus answered the previous one. Okay, moving on. Freshworks.
We'll say John Lennon and Yoko Ono.
Not John Lennon and Yoko Ono. TCS.
Mitesh will guess Savoy Hotel.
And why?
When Savoy wanted to improve their facilities or whatever, they placed a big order.
And what was Savoir in the business of?
Mattresses, something, I don't know.
Absolutely right. So this is Savoir's mattresses and beds. It actually says there, extraordinary beds, right? And it is the Savoy Hotel. Very interestingly, the reason why the Savoy Hotel was named thus, or so rather Savoy beds were named thus, because they were created only for the Savoy Hotel. That's why they call themselves Savoy, right? And therefore, the Savoy Hotel always became their biggest customer, right, till date, right? Great answer there, very well worked out. Plus 20 there to TCS, very well done. Okay, TCS has hit the double century. I think that hasn't happened in all the 4 semifinals, right? But very well done, right? Great answering. It's very, very clear the quality of answering there. Here's the next question. I'll give you the question. Please see the visual first, right? See it carefully. Here you go. No need to jump. I'll give you kind of some time to absorb it. This is the Morris Internet Worms source code. It is in a floppy disk, right? This was the worm that came up in 1988 and was one of the first computer worms that was distributed via the internet, right? Now, this particular worm, why was it called the Morris worm? And why was it named the Morris worm? There was a reason why it was named the Morris worm. Anyone pouncing? You need to know your literature for this. You need to know your literature for this, right? I'm just adding clues so that we make it easy. There's a fictional reference, right? And this entire, in fact, the Morris worm And after that, a whole bunch of, anti-malware, a lot of, malware and computer worms, were discovered. And this was called the era of the great worms, right? So there was a fictional reference to it. So you need to know your fiction from the early 1900s. So tell me, anyone bouncing? 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Closing it. Let's move. The direct is, if I remember right, TCS answered the previous one, so this is sale.
Robert Morris.
Robert Morris, not Robert Morris. Nothing to do with literature.
Okay.
Next one to IIT Gandhinagar.
So did you say the answer has got something to do with literature?
Yes. Fictional reference. The Great Worm was a fictional reference.
In one of Jules Verne's works. So that is Jules Verne.
Nice guess. Not Jules Verne. That would be the 1800s. Right, I said 1900s. Okay, but at least you're in the right direction. Right, go for it. Nexus Consulting. Lots of animated discussions I could see.
Yeah, Rishi says Frank Herbert's Dune.
Not Frank Herbert's Dune. Freshworks.
We'll say characters in Alice in Wonderland.
Not characters in Alice in Wonderland. Again, the timeline would be wrong. TCS.
For lack of a guess, we'll say this is the works of William S. Burroughs.
Not William S. Burroughs. Again, all very nice guesses. All right. Sale, we started with you. This, interestingly, is from Tolkien. The Morris worm was called the Great Worm after J.R.R. Tolkien's Great Worms, Scatha and Glaroung, which were essentially dragons in the Middle-earth. So if you read any of the Middle-earth ones, right, this came from there. So that is how the Morris worm and the whole Great Worms, that whole era of the viruses were called Great Worms, right, from that. So sorry, tough one. No one got this. Here's the final question of the anti-clockwise round coming up. Here's the question. Around 25 years ago, how did the old man convince the young man to come back home? Around 25 years ago, I see SAIL, IIT Gandhinagar, Freshworks, TCS, everybody's bounced except Nexus. Got the answer from all four, right? Only Nexus hasn't answered, so the question naturally goes to Nexus. That's not a bad day, unless you want to bounce too. Around 25 years ago, how did the old man convince the young man to come back home? Okay. Nexus, just 5 more seconds.
Oh, we have to answer on the mic, is it?
Yeah. Unless you want to bounce and take an egg.
No, of course not.
Okay, go for it. Otherwise, I'll go on.
1 second. Shucks.
Okay.
India.
Not Air India. All 4 teams, TCS, SAIL, Freshworks, and IIT Gandhinagar were right. Plus 20. Very well done. Very well done. IIT Gandhinagar, do you want to give the answer?
So the Dhara Jalebi ad.
Absolutely. This is the Dhara Jalebi ad, if you remember. This is Parzam Dastur, right? And the old man, right? They've all obviously significantly grown now. He was a kid there, right? And this is a Dhara Jalebi ad where he convinces them to, come back home. Iconic ad, way back in the early 90s, right? I thought this would kind of be up your alley. 4 teams got it right. Well done. That was the last question. Here are the scores. TCS comfortably at 220. I don't think they're going to touch the buzzer, in the buzzer round. They comfortably should be home unless they commit some harakiri, but big battle on for second place. Nexus at 120. Freshworks at 120, SAIL at 90. They have a good chance. They get 2 in and they are back in business. And IIT Gandhinagar, you never know what can happen. They can answer all 5 in and still make it to the national finals, right? So it's actually game on for place 2. I'm assuming that, the TCS team may not buzz, but I completely. So you'll not see anything on the screen. All right, nothing on the screen. No questions on the screen, as you know. Shall we start? Are you all set? Folks, just show me a thumbs up and we'll be good.
Can you do the buzzer check?
Oh, we already did that, right? The screen node wants to do that.
Okay.
Say you want to do that, I can just test it once for each of you, no problem. Say go for it. Yeah, working?
Okay.
Yeah. All cool? So it works, don't worry, we've already tested it, right? So it won't be a problem. All right. Please listen to the question very carefully. That's my only request in the buzzer round. Right? Don't go for it with a keyword and so on and so forth. Usually if there is a keyword, I can guarantee you there is a trick. Okay, here we go. Question number 1 of the buzzer round of the corporate semifinals, the second one. Can all of you please, if anybody of you by mistake have turned on your YouTube or whatever, please, there's an echo apparently. It wasn't happening till now. So don't kindly stream anything simultaneously on a different device. Okay, we're good to go. Here's the first question. V. Ramesh, not the Ramesh in the quiz here. Okay, it's V. Ramesh. Comes from the textile manufacturing town of Tirupur. This is in Tamil Nadu. He's a businessman and runs 2 successful apparel companies. TCS, okay, I don't know why you would want to, do that for the others, but I leave it to you. Unmute, please.
I just wanted to answer a sports question with all the sports cards here. So this is the curator of the Chepauk pitch.
He is the curator of the Chepauk pitch. That's correct. Plus 15 there to JK. And TCS, plus 15 to TCS. Good answer. Okay, your score is updated. Here's the next one.
Buzzer is not reset.
It is reset.
No, it's still red.
Still red. Tell me now.
Yeah, okay.
Okay.
Fine.
Yeah, thank you for pointing that out. Here you go. Listen to this question carefully. What script was historically used in northern India for writing accounts? And IIT Gandhinagar. I haven't completed the question, but go ahead. Give me the answer.
Is it Modi?
It isn't Modi. I haven't completed the question. There will be 2 chances, as I've told you always. Minus 5 there. You can't buzz again. Hopefully the buzzers reset everybody. Let me complete the question, please. Really helpful. Right. What script was historically used in northern India for writing accounts? Folks, somebody is streaming. Okay. For writing accounts and financial records in Marwadi, Hindi, and Punjabi, and refers to the Hindi word for bankers. SAIL has buzzed. Go for it, SAIL.
I think it's Mahajani.
It is Mahajani or Mahajaniya from the word Mahajan. Absolutely right. Plus 15 to SAIL. Good going. This is becoming even more interesting. All right. Reset the buzzer for everybody. Here's the third question. We are all now familiar with bubbles in sports, with cricket teams being in bubbles due to COVID, right? All of us saw that in the recent IPL and so on. In 2020, NBA bubble was created by the, Nexus. Go for it.
I will say Disney World.
It is right. It is Disney World or the Disney bubble. Well done. Plus 15 there. This is the Disney bubble or the Disney World bubble. Right. Well done. The question that I was going to ask was, the NBA bubble was created by, to protect its players as well from the COVID-19 pandemic. It was a $190 million investment by the NBA to protect its 2019-20 season. What is its popular name given the isolation location? Good answer there. Resetting the buzzer for everybody. Okay, all reset. Here's the next one. If Nexus gets this one, I think they're through, but Freshworks is close behind and Sale can get both through and they still have a game on. Here you go. Amitabh Bachchan recently said about this person on Kaun Banega Crorepati that it is tough to correlate. Okay, TCS, I don't know why we would board a bus, but you want to spoil someone's party? Go ahead.
I think this is about Geeta Gopinath. Somebody as beautiful as her and do economics or not.
Absolutely right. Plus 15, TCS showing their class, but also playing small sport. Right? But it's okay, your answer is perfectly fine. Right? This is indeed Geeta Gopinath of the IMF. Amitabh Bachchan basically said that, he took to Twitter and said he's expressing his fangirl moment, right? And so on and so forth, right? Somebody as beautiful as a face as her with the domain of economy is surprising, right? So this is Geeta Gopinath, the IMF's chief economist. I'm surprised there wasn't a furor around this comment, right? But let's move on. Here's the final question. I'm resetting the buzzer that will decide. Clearly, TCS is home at 250 points. The final question decides the runner-up. What I would request is SAIL and IIT Gandhinagar and TCS. Obviously, there's no way any one of you can get in, right? I mean, TCS has already got in, but the other two can't. The quiz is between Freshworks and Nexus. To be fair to them, if I may request only those two teams to buzz, right? And if both of them are not buzzing, we'll open it up to all of you. Is that okay? Here's the final one. If Mumbai has 39, Delhi has 17.
Mitesh, please wait. The still buzzer is on red for me.
Okay. Tell me now. Are you okay?
It's fine now, yeah.
Rishi, you're okay. Ramesh, you're okay. Okay, great.
Yeah.
I know this is a crucial one, so I'll go slow. If Mumbai has 39, Delhi has 17, Ahmedabad has 9, Pune has 4, Hyderabad has 4, Chennai has 3, Kolkata has 2, Bangalore incidentally has 11. What are we talking about? There are 3 unlikely places that I'm going to add. Haridwar, headquarters of Patanjali, Hisar, which is Jindal Steel, and Thrissur, where you have Kalyan Jewellers. This is an exhaustive list as of 2020 of what in India. Mumbai has 39, Delhi has 17, Ahmedabad has 9, Pune has 4, Bangalore has 11, Chennai has 3, Haridwar coincidentally has 1, which is thanks to Patanjali. Hisar has 1, which is thanks to Jindal. And Thrissur also has 1, thanks to Kalyan Jewellers. The answer, and I'm adding a clue, the answer is also the name of a very famous series produced by Showtime. Okay, Nexus seems to have gone for it. Yes, Nexus.
Billionaires.
So what are these? These are number of the billionaires?
Billionaires, yeah. Thrissur, Kalyan Jewellers, Kalyan Raman is a billionaire. So,
awesome. I'm not so sure if that's the right answer though. right? I just said awesome to tell you that yes, Trishur has a billionaire maybe, right? So